There's a famous line often attributed to Mark Twain. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. But when it comes to stock markets, history tends to do a little more than rhyme. It almost repeats itself. In every market cycle, especially after a sustained period of strong performance, investors begin to believe in one thing, that this time is different. Over the past few quarters, we've seen this belief return in the Indian markets. The narrative this time is that the Indian economy is structurally stronger, markets have evolved, and therefore higher valuation multiples are justified. So looking at these, we decided to step back and test these beliefs using data. One common argument is that valuations only look stretched because of a handful of very expensive or loss-making stocks. But when we adjust for these loss-making and extremely high PE stocks, the picture barely changes. Both large cap and mid cap indices continue to trade well above their long-term valuation averages despite this adjustment. Another popular narrative is that the index composition itself has changed. The so-called new economy sectors, which naturally trade at higher valuations, now form a bigger part of the markets. But once again, the data tells a different story. Sector weights have remained largely stable over the last 15 years. What has changed is not the composition of the market, but the price investors are willing to pay almost across every other sector. There's also a belief that India's earnings growth will structurally accelerate from here. Historically, however, corporate earnings have closely tracked nominal GDP growth. And as economies grow larger, growth tends to moderate and not accelerate, which basically means that expecting permanently higher valuation multiples based on faster long-term growth may be too optimistic. So if we were to conclude, every market cycle comes with a compelling story, but history teaches us something important. Markets often peak when investors are most confident that this time is different. In phases like these, discipline matters more than stories and valuations matter more than ever. Thank you for your patient listening.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.